na rin ang DepEd. Kaya't sa kabila ng pagnanais kong makisama, hindi ako pumipirma sa kahit anong papel hinggil sa BICAM report na yan. At nagsusulong magbawas ng pera sa mga lehitimong proyekto para lamang ipasok ang akap, lakihan ng labis-labis ang MAIP, at pagpiestahan ang DPWH. Paano naman ako pipirma sa blankot kulang-kulang na papel? The majority of the Senate contingent signed the signature page of the BICAM report. However, several of the senators soon refused to sign the rest of the report when they saw the drastic and inexplicable changes reflected therein. It was only at 6:14 p.m., much later that day, that my office finally received through an email, apparently a signed copy of the BICAM report. At approximately 8:20 p.m., members of the Senate purportedly ratified the BICAM report viva voce of the 2025 General Appropriations Bill. Uulitin ko po, purportedly ratified. Malaking himala. Sabi nga nung dekada 70, ayos na ang buto-buto. Nakakalungkot ang nangyayaring ito. And we should all be disheartened by the manner our BICAM was conducted, by the means the BICAM report was ratified. It is, after all, a very important, perhaps the single most important piece of legislation we pass each year. Isang yumaong miyembro ng Senado ang nirerespeto ng lahat na si Senator Dominador Aytona, anak ng Bicol, once defined the national budget, the General Appropriations Act, as the economic program of government designed for the people's benefit in numbers and figures rather than words and letters. This week, the greatest power of the legislature, the power of the purse, has been trivialized and wantonly squandered. Ito ba talaga ang BICAM report? Ang programa ng gobyerno para sa sambayang Pilipino na hirap na sa buhay? O para sa kapakanan ng iilan lamang? I also attempted to obtain a CCTV footage of the reported ratification of the 2025 BICAM report. For some incomprehensible reason, the Senate Secretariat refused to oblige, alleging that a non-existent data privacy regulation prohibited my being provided a copy. They seem to forget that sessions in the Senate are public and are even live-streamed nationally. Nonetheless, the transcript reveals that the viva voce voting was conducted. Did we bother to ascertain how many senators were actually present on the floor at the time? I certainly was no longer there, and so many other senators had determined to depart. Would it have hurt to check if, as a parent, on so many other online videos, there were a mere 13 members present? As already pointed out, some of the members of the Senate only signed the signature page. After years as the Appropriations Vice Chairman for the opposition in the House, I know that it is custom and tradition as well in the Senate to sign each and every page. And since some of the senators, having never seen the BICAM report until that instant, refused to sign all the pages in the Senate copy of the BICAM report, would it not have been prudent to determine why did they refuse before proceeding to ratify it? Napirmahan nga ba ito? O isa na namang himala ang buo, kompleto, kada pahinang pagpirma ng mga senador natin? More disturbing is the fact that the BICAM report was ratified even though at the time there was no final version of the 2025 GAB report. Is it not the BICAM report that was supposed to embody all the changes that the bill had undergone during the BICAM conference? How can the BICAM committee release a BICAM report for the 2025 GAB when the actual 2025 GAB was still being finalized? Sunod-sunod, linuluto pa, at walang patid ata itong kababalaghan. Even as I speak, the final version of the 2025 General Appropriations Bill is yet to be printed. As late as yesterday, the 17th of December, those in charge of the budget, the real BICAM, are still trying to massage the budget. Masahe pa po, allocating and adjusting among themselves and their associates the infrastructure and other projects so that those who are in their good graces get a piece of the proverbial pie. Some may argue that what will be contained in the GAB is reflected in the BICAM report and that therefore it's not necessary for the GAB to be finalized before the BICAM report is released. Allow me to show you what the 2025 BICAM report actually looks like, at least in general terms. As an example, the DPWH budget has now bloated to a 1.113 trillion. The BICAM report shows that a total of 350,483 was added, while 61.834 was deducted, resulting in a net increase of 288.65 from the BICAM bill. In the summary report, there is a mere single line as an explanation for this massive increase, simply stating various infrastructure projects. This runs counter to our rules. You and I know that under Rule 12, Section 35 of the Rules of the Senate, the committee report must contain a detailed and sufficiently explicit statement of the changes or amendments to the subject measure. The same section also provides there must be a comparative presentation of the conflicting House and Senate provisions and a reconciled version thereof, along with explanatory statement of the BICAM. Instead of that detailed explanation and comparative presentation demanded by our rules, we only got various infrastructure projects. VIPs pala. VIPs meaning very important persons. Sino-sino kaya sila? Gaya na sambit ko, hinihimay pa ang himala. Pero para sa ilang mga VIPs. Real talk, can anyone in this chamber, this August chamber, ascertain what are these infrastructure projects by just looking at the BICAM report? Can any of us determine what is included and comprising the additional 350 additional funding to DPWH, as well as the projects and programs defunded as part of the 61.834 reduction? I plowed through that BICAM report, which I did not sign, hoping against all odds that there was a better explanation somewhere. Alas, there is not even a joint explanation narrating what these changes were about and why they came about. The explanation, therefore, of the 288.65 billion increase in DPWH is once again various infrastructure projects, ang mahiwagang VIP. Ang hinihimala pa nga, very important persons, very important party lists kaya. When we were asked to sign the BICAM report, did any one of us have any idea what specific projects were being funded? If our job is to decide which programs or projects are funded, then we are remiss in fulfilling our obligations by approving a BICAM report that explains a 288.65 billion increase in DPWH with just 3 miserable words. Habang masusing sinusuri ng ating mga kababayan ang bawat detalye ng kanilang resibo sa grocery, ang bill sa kuryente para tiyakin tama ang bawat sentimo kanilang binabayaran, tayo naman dito sa Senado ay tila kontento ng pumayag sa 288 bilyong dagdag gamit lang ang tatlong matalinhagang salita, VIP, various infrastructure projects. Sa totoo lang, ginagawa pa ba natin ang ating trabaho? Worse, the committee allotted a smaller budget to education than it did to DPWH, contrary to the clear command of Article 14, Section 5, Paragraph 5 of the Constitution, which requires that the state shall at all times assign the highest budgetary priority to education. Far from addressing the learning crisis and the decreasing digital divide, the BICAM cut 11 billion from the budget of DepEd, including 10 billion from the proposed computerization program. Sinabi ng Pangulo nung Lunes sa isang interview na ibabalik niya ang budget para sa computerization. Pero base sa BICAM report, ang suma total para sa edukasyon ay 925 billion lamang. At ito na ang kinukumpunin ng DepEd, ng SUCS, ng CHED at ng TESDA, 12 billion pa sa iba't ibang mga educational institutions. In contrast to that budget of 925, DPWH has a budget of 1.113 trillion, which is 188 billion more than the entire budget allocation for education. I need